Well, Vivian, thank you so much for joining us. Man, I'm so excited to talk to you. Is this your first year being at UFO Con, or have you been to UFO Con in the past?
Actually, it is my first year
Okay.
at the UFO Con here in San Francisco.
All right.
First time I come and first time I speak
Uh huh.
right here.
Okay.
So it's really exciting. I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I've seen a few interviews of you, and you have a really interesting stories. So I mean, if you don't mind, can you kind of maybe just let the our audience know kind of a little bit about you and how this kind of all developed and started for you?
Of course, and I just want to say I can feel both your enthusiasm, your energy. You both come across as very hard bass.
All right.
And then it brings such a layer that my Arcturian team feel very like around you. They can feel like they want to embrace you because of your energy is really heart based and it's wonderful.
All right.
Awesome.
That's
Oh
good
yeah,
to know. That's
both
good to
of you,
hear.
I can feel that we are in a synergy right now.
All
You
right.
feel like we are creating a synergy of exchange.
Love that.
So to go back to what you just said, and thank you for asking. So I am known as what's called a biological Arcturian hybrid, which is a mix of a human mother and an Arcturian father. And it's
Wow.
really extraordinary endeavor on our hand because the word hybrid or hybridization has been used a lot. But in our case, if you think about it, is the blend of a civilization, the Arcturians, who are really highly evolved. It's an ascended race of being who no longer function in a very dense physical world, and to combine their genetic material with a human mother was also very compatible, and create a physical vessel for me to incarnate into was a very big task, a very big project. Because the viability were pretty low in terms of we don't know if I was going to physically survive. The body would be viable and
Right.
functional in a world, a planetary system, a planet that still function what's called on the third density. So the challenge to make sure that not only the genetic is compatible, but also that the body will be able to function. One of the greatest challenge was on around the immune system. And it's also a challenge that many other ET civilizations face when they create an hybrid, which is why a high level of hybrid will contain a higher percentage of ET genetics. Most likely in a gene pool, they will stay more on the ships, or they will stay with their star family. They will stay with them because they have more technology. They're more, their atmosphere is more compliant for them to be able to survive. In our case, we really push the envelope. And so to speak, we really decided to do it in order to have a physical presence, to be able to get on the ground an ambassador, if you want, that will be also at the same time a direct conduit with our Arcturian collective, and being able to interact and do the work with our presence on the planet has tremendous shifting paradigm reality. We're here to help everyone to evolve, but to really start to accelerate the process where we need to be.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's incredible.
Wow. So I'm like, I'm just kind of taking it all in because this is the first time that I've heard about this. So I mean, I've heard of the different dimensions that we're all kind of in. Like we're in the third, right, or we're in the fourth here on Earth.
Kind of say like we're like a third dimensional density
Third dimensional
or something,
density, right? So a being that's from a higher density coming into Earth, you're saying that it needs to be one with the consciousness and also the physical body. Is that what you're
It
saying?
does have an implication of this. So
Yeah.
if you think of it as star beings or civilizations for eons ago have already reached a level of enlightenment, so reach a level of ascension. And what we do, Arcturians are very well known to be what's called like teachers on wheels. And we have our fleet are deployed everywhere in different planetary systems within the multiverse. And what we do is that we help a civilization in the midst of an ascension point to help them evolve without interfering on the lessons, the karma, and everything that the soul needs to learn, but at the same time to bring a positive, enlightened assistance, whether it's from healing, teaching, opening the consciousness, helping you remembering who you really are instead of to identify yourself to a personality, a form, a persona. I was born here, I grew up there, I have, I like arts and music. You go, that's great, that's from your human experience. But what's behind it? What is the infinite intelligence that animates that personality behind that fuel the desire that comes from your heart? So we're here to bring what's called reversal of thought system, helping you to wake up, helping you to regain your full potential, and ultimately also reach what's called soul fulfillment, so you can all fulfill your soul destiny and also evolve on the planet. Because the Earth is not the only planet in the same stage of evolution. We have observed that there are other planets that are also in the same level of evolution.
Wow.
However, all eyes are here on this Earth because we're leading the way. We are an example. The success of the re-ascension of the Earth, as well as all sentient life, will lead the way to create an example, if you want, a template. It's almost like a book of instructions. Say, hey, this is how we did it here.
Wow.
And we're helping you, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I've heard that a lot of people say that either through contact or through the mind, talking to alien species, that this term, the grand experiment, is that maybe something along the lines of what you're saying, is like the Earth is a template that you're saying, like the grand experiment? Do you think those two mean kind of the same thing?
It has a layer to it. So great experiment, it means different things, but especially that at the early stages of human evolution, there's been a lot of DNA manipulation that's been done from other civilizations, like the Pleiadians have played their parts, the Tolsetian have played their parts, and there are a lot of mix in the gene pool from the human race. If you look at the theory of Darwin, which just has been proven is no longer applicable, is that the human civilization as a race has evolved very quickly in such short span of time.
Right.
And so we have to look at how your DNA is also evolving. Within your DNA, there's also multidimensional properties to them that start to awaken and start to activate itself. We start to reach more our truest potential. And so from an Arcturian perspective, we do perceive human beings as those giants of light in the midst of a very important, rising, to say, wait a minute, I'm climbing back my celestial right, my place as a very evolved being, and not someone that is addressed like, oh, we are violent or prone for, conflict and all of it. This has been taught. That has been brought onto by other civilizations like the Draconian, the Reptilians. So you have to look at as above, so below, right?
Right.
As diverse as the Earth is in terms of culture, in terms of population, in terms of, background, well, it's the same thing with the universe. It's very diverse. So if you think about the great experiment or the great project on the Earth, many has hands-on, many have put their hands in the batter, mixing to create a very diversified cake, so to speak.
Lots of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah,
like a bag
many,
of
many
burritos.
cooks.
Gourmet burritos, man.
A little bit too many spices, but we'll talk about that. Let's filter.
This is kind of the mission of the Arcturians, basically, is to provide this information and kind of provide this guidance and help to the Earth species, basically.
Part of it is there. We're here to create profound changes. We'll help you to also to set yourself free for all the system has been put in place to utilize your own free will and convince you that you'll be happier when you get distracted. You give your power to a certain group, whether it's politics, government, or any form of structure. We're here to say, hey, let's dismantle this old, outdated structure that no longer serve the highest good of all instead of a handful. And then let's take back in terms of returning to the paradise that this Earth was designed at its original blue ascension, what we call the blue cosmic imprint. This Earth was always designed to be such a paradise in terms of a planet so rich of life and resources to live in harmony. In ancient and modern shamanism, it's called a return of the stewardship. We're returning to be more guardians of the earth. And to be guardians, it means that you have to accept it, you have to know who you are.
Yeah.
And understanding your implication in what you do, what you think, what you manifest, even your presence on the planet creates an imprint that is recognized even through the echoes of time. Did you know that through the Akashic record of the Earth remembers all of you, remembers you walking here on the Earth in different incarnations, and recognizes you. So what you've come back to do, your show, for example, it's a prime example of this. You bring in new ideas, you are defying those structures, bringing people like myself. And when you bring myself, you bring my team with me. You talk with different people. It's been whether it's Air Force, whether it's researcher, experiencers, right?
Right. Yeah.
What you're doing, you're planting very important seeds to your audience, to that they create new thought forms, and that's sent out into the collective as well. You see how you're expanding? It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Wow. I love that.
I like that a lot.
Planting the seed, I think that's where it all starts. I mean, for us, like at a young age, we just something as little as the little carnival little poster that we both got, like with the alien face on it. It just like stuck in our minds, and I was just obsessed with aliens ever since then. And the little seed. Maybe sometimes it's a little harder for some people to kind of grasp it, but I think this is.
We've talked about how such a strange, unfamiliar thing seems very familiar.
Yes.
And you don't understand why it seems familiar, but it's...
Exactly. There's knowing into you. You become more claircognizance. What is it coming from? The sense of, wow, I got this image, got stuck in my head ever since I feel connected to aliens or star people, those ETs. What do you think it's coming from? Exactly. It's coming from your inner knowing, ancient memories that start connecting to start to awaken. That's another thing too, is that we are reactivating ancient memories, connector points that allow you to go like, whoa, I'm starting to see another layer of reality. This aspect I'm going to bring into my reality, and then what you did, you just redefine for the entire ecosystem. You just reopen a door that connects us, and then invite all of us to join that directions. Because there's a saying, I'm sure you may have heard of it, that says, as you are uplifted, all life is uplifted along with you, because we are a part of a synergy. And think of it as a pebble, and you throw in the pond, the ecosystem is affected through the ripple effect.
Right.
So think of it as the collective consciousness on the planet, your work, your interest, what you say, I don't know how I know it, but I just know it is part of my being. Chances are that your soul is talking. Your inner being is speaking, sending you signals to memory, interest, energy. You become more fire. You develop a passion about it, and you go for it. You go like, I don't know, I have to follow this passion. Those are hunches, guides. Whisper to your soul, and your soul speaking whispers. So you allowing yourself to go into a higher road and go like, I'm going for it. And you see the opportunities are the doors that manifest. You start to magnetize and attract opportunities that match those frequency. So it's like opening ripple effect, kind of go on and on and on. And you don't know how far it can go. And the changes it creates too.
I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that. Like, I feel like, up to like maybe a few years ago, I was just very like kind of closed off. It was always something I was interested in, but ever since I really started kind of just paying attention, those little whispers that you talk about, they're almost like noticeable now, like just strange, synchronistic things, if you want to call it, like kind of start happening, and you kind of pay attention to it, and for me it was always like it's just coincidence type thing. But then there's comes a point to where it's like, how many coincidences are just happening? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And like, is there like a greater connection to all of this? You know, like, and you know, the more I look into it and the further I dive into this type of stuff, man, it really seems like there's something to it, you know, whether you believe it or not. I think it really has a lot to do with how much your intent and your focus is on that, you know. And yeah, I mean, I can kind of feel it. It feels, you know, this necklace that you gave me, like, you know, stones and crystals and things like that, like, I've never really put too much thought into it. I've always kind of considered myself like, it's not really easy for me to like get the placebo effect, right? So like,
Right.
I don't usually like feel things, but like, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like this necklace, like you were saying, like, I like feel warm in my chest. Like it's strange. Like when I first put it on, I was like, okay, cool, it's a necklace. But like as we're kind of getting into this, it's like, whoa, like I can like, there's like a heat almost. It's crazy. It's crazy. I
That's
can
pretty
really
cool.
kind of feel that. And you know, like I said, I don't know if that's just kind of my mind playing tricks on me, or if it's like doing something. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I kind of feel it.
That's interesting. I love what you're saying. Great feedback, because you say, is it my mind playing tricks on me? You know right away is that which part of your mind are you referring to? It's the lower mind, the one makes you doubt, puts you more in survival mode. It's designed to keep you alive and keep you moving, but at the same time I call it the hamster effect. It's going to ask questions, but you don't really get substantial answer from your lower mind. So the first thing you say, okay, I acknowledge you. My mind is, I acknowledge you. And then what you do, you ask your inner master, your heart center, your heart, this intelligence that you have within you. You say, what does my heart has to say about this? And when you focus about your heart and you ask, I'm going to ask my master. My mind is my students, but I'm going to ask what my master says. And then that's where you're going to start to feel the warmth, the connections. You start to feel potential, very tangible changes. And the pen that you're wearing right now, it's made of copper ring. It's based on the Tensor technology. So copper being a natural conduit, the cubit lens you're wearing is called the emotional ring. So it works with your heart center, expand it, clear your filters, helping you to expand and clear your emotional field. Plus the inside, the crystal that is combined inside, where you have the peridot, known as the seeker of the universe, and I feel that's really much in sync what you're doing. Plus the middle center has the tiger eyes, is the golden tiger eye. Tiger eyes is the great seer, opens your third eye, giving you higher vision. So now moving forward, you start to identify more to those visions, higher mental faculties instead of the lower mind, the chattering, and you start to bridge your higher mind with your heart center. And now that's where your life, that's where miracle changes.
Yeah.
Your perspective, you are changing what's called reversal of your thought system. Your world start to shift. And so the power of one, like you, both of you actually, the power of the two of you as light worker, what you do, it's light worker. You have the power to uplift thousands on the planet, and that's where we are at that point. 2020, we spoke of this before. 2020, it's a year where we're going back to the profoundness of our celestial origin. Soul fulfillment, identifying, listening to our self-mastery within ourselves, and being able to align ourselves to fulfill our soul destiny. And this is a soul destiny, something that's been chosen by yourself, with your soul, prior to your incarnation. And that is opening doors that you thought never possible before. And all this paradigm of lack, scarcity, poverty, all of it, those have been illusions, has been put in place to keep human beings at a level of servitude, obedience. You know, I'm going to create distraction to keep you busy with your distraction. You don't question anything else when you do that. But see how things were breaking through? We're making major breakthrough.
Oh yeah.
And I do say a part of our work here is to create those change. Our presence is designed to create those paradigm shifts. Everywhere we go, we know that we are interacting with the ecosystem. People, beautiful, wonderful people like yourselves, those who are listening, they're coming, but we also we are interacting with the ecosystem around.
Right.
The trees, the nature, the grid of the earth, this part of consciousness where we are right now. Everything, remember, it's a synergy.
Man,
I love that. I love
I could
that.
listen to you talk all day.
Thank you.
It's kind of like that feeling of like when you're just walking like in the grass with no shoes on.
Yes.
And like you can just feel, I
Yes.
don't know, like you feel different. You know, you get that kind of like earth energy, I guess.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. And I can tell you that our interaction today, which we immortalized to
Yeah.
technology, being online, YouTube, video, all of it, it's going to continue to echo deep, and it's going to start to talk more and more in your soul. So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to more messages, a spark in your eyes, something just open up. And you see this is what we call creating positive shifts that are also very of integrity and respect to your path. We're not pushing anything. We are walking with you. And this is what we come here to do, to teach, to show you that our approach is more in that sense.
Right.
Think of it as back even in the masters of School of Learning. If you look at the great civilization on this planet, and all sensei or master, they bring also information, but they also let the students evolve.
Right.
And we're not saying we're better or worse, it's just an analogy, an example. Yeah. If we learn from our ascension, why can't we just to show you, hey, we did it. That
Definitely.
means you can do it too. Because Arcturians is also an example of we are what's called an image of self, of you, which is in the future. We are a projection of what you can achieve because we know who you are. We're not being fooled by personalities and trade and
Right.
grunginess and all of it. But we talk to you through your third eye, to your heart center. We talk to your inner being, which we can see to the reflection of your eyes. And that's why I look at people as I look to their being inside. Then I pay attention to the personality.
Right. Wow, that's cool. That's really awesome.
You see the difference already? The
Yeah.
shifting? And this is what we come to present. So on Sunday, the 23rd of February, when I'm going to be on stage, even though physically you may not see it with your eyes, but I'll have my team with me. And when I say my team, it says I have about 30 to 33 Arcturians in the light body with me. And my father is always behind me. I've seen people, when I do classes, sessions, or conferences, I have people come to see me. I see this very tall being behind you. I say, I know, it's Father.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So, can I ask you, if we were to visualize, are Arcturians, are they light beings? Is that what or is that how you would visualize them? Is that how they look in their natural state?
Well, it's a great question. So to be able to interact and to be able to be here, they project in their light bodies,
Okay.
for sure. Do they have a physical body? Yes, a little more substance, but not nearly as dense as a human being.
Oh,
Like, for
wow.
example, we only have 3 long digits. We don't need all those fingers.
Right.
Because everything is done more through the power of thoughts. It's a high mental discipline. And through high mental discipline, you can achieve a lot more. Telepathy, moving things with your mind, being able to be in control of an entire starship to your mind, combined with technology, of course.
Right.
But can you imagine just being in the control and by the discipline of your mind, visualizing a point on the multiverse, you can be there and you control an entire starship. And the technology, the organic technology behind it supports you.
Whoa, so it's like an interface of mind
A symbiotic.
to technology.
Symbiotic,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So the presence of them always here. In fact, yesterday, when we did a brief introduction of the documentary Extraordinary the Seeding, and I was on front speaking with a portion of the cast and crew, Jeanette, the photographer for the UFO CON, took a picture of me talking, and she showed me on a picture, and I want you to see it when you see Jeanette ask her. You can see a vortex, a triangular vortex of pure purple light right on my throat.
Whoa.
right here, like a pocket of light.
Whoa.
You can see it with naked eyes on the camera.
That is cool.
This is very tangible, very real, right?
Yeah.
And so Janet said, look at the picture. I said, they want you to see, because when we speak in a collective, even though you hear my voice, my accent, everything, my tonality, the team is, I'm a blended conscious channel, which is why I can hold the frequency 24 hours a day, because I am physically built for it.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
I am physically built to stay in that constant loop of connection. There's many gifted channels on the planet. They have to take a break. They have to regenerate. They have to say, I can only channel for a certain time. I can be channeling for hours without being depleted.
Wow.
That's because physically I'm built for it. You see the difference?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
Part
super
of the
cool.
gift.
That is super awesome.
So I guess to like somebody who would just have no idea about this stuff, like, you know, like I was telling you earlier, like, so how would I know like what part of me is out of line, or like how would I know like what needs to be worked on? Like how would just like the regular person know? I mean, obviously we could talk to somebody like you or find somebody who,
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
works in that field. But I mean, just even the thought of just like, oh, maybe my energies are out of whack, right? How would you go about, you know, understanding or even finding out what's wrong?
That's a great question, because you become more attuned with yourself. So if you just accept the fact that your body is a great tool, and your body is intelligent, and we don't worry about your heart beating or your stomach digesting, and then everything, the function are taken for granted, right? So you think about, are you listening to your body? So for example, if you got stomach discomfort, your body is sending you what's called a biological loop or a signal. Where after time we're going to go, oh, I must have ate something, you disregard it, you drink something, you want a quick fix, and you move on, right? So you're moving is that people more and more are moving away from the quick fix, or somebody out there will know for me, and you start to listen. Yeah, what does my stomach is telling me? I've been overworked. Are you an overthinker? Because thinking too much will affect your stomach.
Think
Right.
constantly.
There you go. And then from which part of your mind do you think about? The anxious one or the one who knows? You know, your higher mental.
I know. I feel like I have like a flip side, like, you know, like kind of like a scale. Like I always think of this, but then I also am always thinking about the flip side, and it's constant back and forth,
Back
like
and forth.
weighing the odds on everything. You know,
Right.
I don't know.
And I can appreciate that because it serves you well to navigate through life up to now. But things are changing a lot. So when you start to be more attuned with yourself, you know, why are you lower back? What are your shoulders telling you? Start to be more in sync with you. You can just be sitting on a chair. You don't need to know how to do meditation or healing work or be a practitioner, but just listen to what your body's saying. Listen to the subtlety of messages. What are you carrying on your shoulders that not really definitely belong to you? Like for those who feel responsible for all their siblings or everybody in the family or their lineage, they carry a lot of work, a lot of weight on their shoulders. Do they feel also lack of support? Their knees will show you. Are you afraid to move forward? You feel there's a lack of support, whether it's emotional, physical, mental support, spiritual support. What is your body telling you? Lungs, grieving, emotion. What is it you're afraid of that you keep that? I need to protect myself. Have you been hurt in the past to the point that it shut down aspect of your heart center and your lungs are contracting to show you need to release those emotional energy that's been stored? So just are a few examples. Listen, I can guarantee you that your body speaks to you in many different forms. That's a great starting point to attune yourself, to start to be like a compass where you are able to realign yourself. So instead of being distracted or do research online, oh yeah, I researched online, I got those, and those symptoms, and I
Right.
go, no. Because that is general. And then what you're doing, you're making suggestions to yourself, you're programming your brain to comply with those suggestions, and you develop the symptoms And you say, see, I was right.
Oh, yeah.
And the body will say, of course you were right. You told us to.
yeah.
Yeah.
You told me to.
Right.
You see how it works?
Yeah.
Is that amazing?
Confirmation bias.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Yep. Oh, man. It's almost kind of like whenever you're like, ooh, I might be getting sick. And then, like, the next day, you're like, oh, well, I'm officially sick.
I'm sick,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
as opposed to kind of maybe moving past that, you
Right.
know? Like, yeah, that's...
acknowledge it. First thing, acknowledge. My body's telling me a signal. Maybe it's, I need to get more rest, better food, supplement. I acknowledge you. I'm going to take care of it. So
Right.
another thing you can see also to the wording is, instead of using the word sick, is I am not well. And what it does, it flips things around. Because to the subconscious mind, the do not exist, have no existence. So when you say, I don't feel well, you're telling yourself, I do feel well. That's the message. Whether it's I am sick, okay, what is it you want? We're going to trigger it. Now, without being said, sometimes the body needs to be reset. So sometimes when you go through a flu or a cold, it can also be a stage where your body is resetting. It's not necessarily a negative point. It's just pay attention, take care of yourself, heal, take what you need, more rest, but let your body give, okay, let my body give a rest so I
Right.
can reset. You may be moving into a new phase, you may be evolving, a reset. Does that make sense? So it's also, you have to gauge. So the more you're becoming more attuned within, instead of being attuned outside, then you shift things around for you.
I love that.
Man, so many pharmaceutical companies are going to be really, really pissed off with this episode.
I know they don't like the Arcturian, and then we know that. They have served a purpose, but it's time to move on to the next level. That's all we
I'm
say.
with you. I'm in.
You know what I mean? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And it gives your power back to you, and that's also going back to a much profound point, is our presence is to allow you to get back your power.
I love that.
Love that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
In many ways, and we said it in a very uplifting way, very positive. Let's get back to the planet. Let's clear it. Let's go back being a stewardship of the earth, a guardians for yourself, for your fellows, brothers and sisters around the world, for all sentient life, the animals who love, understand, feel, they know. They have souls. Yes, they do. And I will be very defending of them because they're part of this ecosystem.
Yeah.
You listen to the trees. People say, oh, you're a tree hugger. I'm proud of it. I should have a t-shirt. I'm a tree. I'm an Arcturian tree hugger.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Reference.
I work with plants, all the time.
See?
And it's such a it's such an enjoyable thing whenever you just get to sit out there and you're just around a whole bunch of plants. Like, you have such a good feeling,
Yeah.
like just being like in a nursery or something. Or that's one of my favorite things to do, is just to go walk through
Me
nurseries
too.
and just be around plants and just the nature and stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Going through like the
makes you feel good.
greenhouse of like the indoor outdoor plants, like the more tropical plants. I love going, just walking through there. It's just, there's so much green and stuff. You just feel really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just got a very, very quick flashback. Both of you, your energy, when you both say that, you projected such an energy, your aura just expanded. And I got a quick flashback, like a timeline opening, where both of you were medicine men, medicine people. So you understand what it is. You've been there before. You've done that before.
Interesting.
Not your first incarnation. No.
I knew it, man. I knew it.
And just both of you, and you're very in sync with each other in your own beautiful way, very distinct, but at the same time very complementary. Think of it as a unity ring, like a synergy. The infinity symbol that flows into one another.
Right.
That's what you do. You flow into that. You come together. You have a point of connection that you retract into your own expression, but you find a way. You connect. And that's what you do, like this. Because your
Synergy.
energy went like this. The
Awesome.
infinity symbol.
Yeah, totally.
That's-
Synergy, you can feel that, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about that kind
That's
of
great,
stuff before.
man. I love that. Well, can you describe what you got here in your hand and what that is and what it does?
Yeah, so my fiancé Peter Benson works a lot with the Tensor technology. He's very inspired with Archangel Metatron, and he works with those brilliant minds of those who've come to the earth beforehand but are no longer in incarnation. So this is what I'm holding right now. It's called a healing coil. It is made of a galactic tensor ring, so copper as a natural conduit. The cubit length behind this copper, that's why it has a white color on it. This is the galactic. It's my favorite tensor ring. The galactic tensor ring will really connect you directly with your higher self and all there is. You feel that you are part of the multiverse. You're part of everything. You can feel like this oneness coming into your body. Turn into a healing coil. It can be done to simply clear your energy, any excess of negative energy you have absorbed. Regulates even an organ. You can put direct on your stomach, back of your head for headache, opening your crown, and simply work with that. I personally like to put my feet in it. I'm literally going to put my foot and just stay in that energy. And what I do is I clear also the sole of my feet. So I feel I have a better connection with the grids.
Right.
I feel like I'm allowing myself to stay a clearer conduit, which is very important for me, especially in my work. And so we always have those healing coil all over our house and also my healing space to allow people to utilize those tools. It brings another dimension to the clearing. You can hold it if you want,
Yes,
please.
definitely.
And the galactic one, you can utilize it. You can put it on your lap. You can put it around your hand and it really clear your energy field. The vortexes that the cubit line has been created as, which in that form is naturally there. So there's a phase to pull and there's another place to replenish. And in the form of a big ring, the galactic one, that's why I feel the most at home. Like E.T. called home, I'm like, oh, in my energy. I feel like I'm in a vortex or portal, direct connection. It's like, okay, I'm being lifted up. Because it's very natural for me in that sense.
That's very cool.
But those eating coils is amazing. Same thing with your pendant, the copper one. And everything is handmade. Everything it takes hours to create, to have the right attunement, the connections, the cubit length, the measurement, everything is very much calculated.
Very precise.
Very precise, so they're very powerful tools.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. I want to make like a big one and just stand in it.
We have, imagine, you're right on. Imagine the size I'm holding right now. We have like a giant one, you can even sit in it.
Oh, that's cool.
And we have it underneath the chair in our Giza pyramid. So 10 foot by 10 foot. People can lay down in the pyramid and they have the coil underneath them.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
That would be pretty sweet, I
Everybody
imagine.
leave the body like that. You go out of body.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
Oh, that's
easier to
interesting.
work because your body becomes so much open. Everything just relax. There's no more barrier. It's just open. And now we can do some really deep work.
That's cool.
It
That's
really is.
cool. And so you do this work with people, right?
Yes.
You kind of get them all worked on.
Oh yes, the
however
total
you.
balancing. I work with people in person, but I do a lot of distance remote session because I have many clients around the world in different countries. So what happens is what I do is I create an avatar of them, and I put the avatar of them or my client in the pyramid, and then I utilize the same tools. Then I connect with them at different level and work with the holographic matrix of themselves too. But it can be done the same thing. That, and I also have people, family, sending us pictures and we put in the pyramid and we utilize the tools around them, create a grid, and it stays there for 3-4 days.
Wow.
So there's different ways.
So how can people find you? Do you have a website that people can contact you through? Or?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
we do.
yeah. Go, give our audience a plug here.
Thank you. Our website is called infinitehealingfromthestars.com. So infinitehealingfromthestars.com. We also have energies of service, and it's going to be redirected to our website, to the Galactic store. But we are very much hands-on, and we are very involved with helping people from different backgrounds all over the place. It's just wonderful to create that grid of connection. So redefining what the grid of connection, this network of beautiful people worldwide who are ready to take on the next step. They're ready to say,
Yeah.
I'm stepping up, and what it means for myself as an individual, but also as a reflective for my family, my friends, my city, my neighbors, country I'm in, and the difference that you make. Because one person makes a huge difference. So imagining coming together as a collective. And that's another thing about the Arcturian, is that we are helping you remembering what it feels like and what it is like to be within a collective, and still honoring the individual expression, but within that collective, instead of being
Wow.
that pocket of separation, which is completely illusion and
Right.
fear-based.
Wow.
Completely.
That was great. That
Thank
was
you so
great.
much,
Yeah, thanks
Beth.
for
You.
stopping by and
Yeah,
talking
seriously.
with us.
Oh,
So awesome. I feel
loved it.
really good right now.
I do too. I feel really nice as well. Yeah, definitely.
it's going to continue to be with you. It's going to sink at different level. It's been a privilege. Gentlemen, thank you so much
Thank you.
Oh,
for
yeah.
what you do as well, for all of us, for your opening, and stay true to yourself. Huh? Stay true to who you are.
We'll do.
Always.
We'll do.
Always.
Thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
we'll
Most
be stopping
welcome.
by your table
Yeah.
Of course,
to
with
come and
joy.
hang out for a little while.
Please.
All right.
Just be in our energy.
Thanks for letting me wear this during the interview. This was really nice. I'm gonna have to probably stop by and buy this from you.
Aw,
I really enjoyed it. So, all right. Well, thank you very much.
you're most welcome.
See you on the next
See you
time.
later, guys. Guys.